It's being live streamed. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. It's being live streamed.
Okay.
Hey, I think.
Okay.
Looks like we're on. All right.
Okay.
Welcome, Rolf. I'm gonna
Thank you.
switch off this.
Okay.
Hi. Yes, we are live.
Okay.
Hey. 1 second. Let me switch off my own.
Okay.
Welcome, Rolf. Okay. Yes. So many of echoes.
Thank you.
We are live. Yay. Welcome,
Yay.
Rolf. This is Rolf's first live interview. Not just, is it your first live interview or first live interview with me?
First live interview ever.
Oh my God, I had the honor. I'm honored. I'm so honored.
Well, it's an honor to be here with you. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm so honored that I'm your first.
Yeah. I'm setting a bit up here as well, trying to get.
Okay, go ahead and just share it on your at your end, Rolf.
I
yeah.
I think I manage. I'm not sure. We'll just find out.
Shall I also do it? Let me see. No, what I can do, I can tag you. True. Did you manage to?
I don't know. I can't see it, so I guess not.
Okay, let me see.
New technology for me. I never did this.
Okay, friends timeline. Okay, let me do it. Okay, you're on. Yeah. So sorry, everyone. The best things in life, we need to wait for it a little bit. Sometimes. Okay. Welcome, everyone. So now it's on your page, Rolf.
Thank you.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being with us. For some of you who's going to join us a little later, we thank you so much for watching. So my name is Suryati Supani. Singaporean, have been living in Norway for, 12 years. So I have had the honor of meeting Rolf in one seminar. And what came across to me is, this is such a brilliant guy. And I told Rolf, you have got to get out there, this brilliance that you have. There's so much that that can help us or help people out there who are high performers. Okay, so and then Rolf has a very nice story to tell us in relation to being a high performer. So he is to me, he's really one of the top high performers that I know. Wait till you, he's becoming shy now. He is a very shy person. I was also, oh my God, so fast. It's been like a week already. Last Thursday, I was on Tony Robbins' UPW, Unleash the Power Within. And the crux of that whole retreat, 4-day event, is actually basically, in a nutshell, even though Tony Robbins did not put it that way, it is really about how to be a high performer. Because he talks about setting big goals, huge goals, and he talks about raising your standards in terms of goals, raising your standards in terms of rituals. So that is the main, the main gist of what we were doing. However, Tony Robbins also talked about there are a lot of people who are high performing. There are a lot of successful people who are not happy. And the reason why people are not happy, part of it is, well, I'm not gonna, Rolf is gonna talk a little bit more about it. Part of it, or the main reason why high performers are not happy, it has to do with their health. And we talk about the health, we're talking about physical health, mental health, and so on and so forth. And if some of you who have attended UPW, you know that the 4th day is the health day. Can you imagine? Like you have 3 days, one full day just to talk about health. So health is so important. So it's very much tied in with being a high performer, being successful. Right, Rolf?
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
So maybe go ahead and introduce yourself. So Rolf has a very powerful story, and this is the story that has formed a basis as to why he is making his mission. It's going to be your lifelong mission, right?
Yeah.
To go help people become more brilliant than they already are. Okay, over to you, Rolf. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you, Suryati. Yeah, so my name is, hello everyone. My name is Rolf Loch. So now I am a happy, healthy, high performer who integrates science and arts into heart-centered mindset trainings. But it wasn't always like that. So in retrospect, I was a high performer, but I was not healthy nor happy. And I learned the hard way that pushing yourself over the limit and setting the bar too high is not sustainable. And so even from a young age, I was doing well at school and also university and often had the highest grades, but it didn't come easy to me. I had to work hard for that and spend a lot of time and effort. And then I went to university where I chose to study applied physics, where then suddenly I was surrounded with students who also got the highest grades, but often for them it came easier, but then they didn't necessarily build the discipline, right? You need to be successful. And as a student I did well, and then my professor actually offered me a job as a PhD, which was a very stressful period, to be honest, and I had to push myself over the limit as well. Then one of the committee members offered me a job as a postdoc researcher. Then later I had a job. I was hired as a laser scientist, but then I took many other tasks, and eventually I was then offered a job as a group leader, like a subgroup leader. And that was 5 years ago. So I was climbing slowly in the career. But then, and that was when I was 34. And then I totally crashed. I could not do anything anymore. So my health was in such a bad shape that I could no longer perform. So I was in so much pain and fatigue that I had to, in the beginning, I had to spend a lot of time in bed. Even holding a cup of tea in one hand was too painful. I could not do any computer work and not hold the photo camera or the guitar, which are two of my main passions. So I could also not even do my hobbies. And while I used to be like the fastest or second fastest runner, so also physically I was doing well before, then I could only walk like 5 to 10 minutes before the pain became too debilitating. And even climbing the stairs, like 3 steps, and then I had to take a break. But the thing is, this didn't come out of the blue. Already 15 years earlier, the first symptoms started. So at the beginning of university, end of high school. So the first symptoms about pain started, and like tinnitus, like ear ringing, sudden hair loss that freaked my mother out, and then a lot of other, slowly over time, like there was also this weird thing about having very sharp pain in the middle of the brain, like a sword coming like into the brain, and then it was over. But that's like happens for about half a year or so, once a month, and then it also disappeared. And on scans, nothing was visible. But
how long was the pain each time it comes?
It was just like a few seconds or split seconds. Actually, it was just really weird. I don't know what. But afterwards, I have the impression that then yeah, things started to happen with my memory. So I had worse memory compared to my peers. That is in like experiences, because I still have a good memory for numbers. But if anything that I've been doing, experiencing, it was kind of started to lack. And so over time, yeah, all these different symptoms, they build up to more than 100 different symptoms that affected the whole body, basically every body system. And then, yeah, I've been to many different doctors, and I have a lot of respect to doctors. They, I mean, they're doing a great job, right? And though the thing is, they also don't really know what to do with this preclinical phase of disease. They're really good at like the end stage or acute stuff. And then they also don't have much time. So you go 5-10 minutes, and then, yeah, you have a list of 100 symptoms. They just pick one, which is in their area. So then based on that, you get a label. So then, yeah, it's like repetitive strain injury, irritable bowel syndrome, arthritis, fibromyalgia, which first they said it cannot be, and then they said, yeah, it is. So they're even confused themselves.
You said Lyme also, right? You told me it was also.
Yeah. So then after like a whole list of diagnosis, including yeah, then in the end they also then diagnosed Lyme's disease with neuroborreliosis. So there's also then affecting the neurological system.
Yeah.
And yeah, so but the thing is that I learned yeah, and then the thing was then, so finally then you have the feeling, okay, I'm understood. There's finally a doctor who knows what's going on. And he also took the time. And then he suggested to do treatments, which at that time I was not well informed, because in hindsight, I would have actually not gone for this treatment, because the treatment is what made everything even worse. That was the final
conclusion.
Yeah, so right, kind of the last drop that then totally made me crash. So it was long-term antibiotics for 3 months first. Then his idea was that the infection should be gone, and the recovery should start, which didn't happen. Then he thought, well, because I'm sick for all, and that's the thing. So the last tick bite was then probably 20 years before, so when around my 16th or something, and that slowly built up. That then at 20 I started to have the first symptoms, and in hindsight it all matches also with Lyme's disease. But then if it's such a long time in your body, it's not actually in your blood, it's really deep inside your system.
Yeah.
So the standard tests also, I had 2 times the standard test because I had a suspicion, but then it was like negative. And now I understand, like, there is a very large percentage of false negatives of these tests. And so the searching kept on going until there was an expert then who did different tests. And but then he also was not experienced with somebody who had such a long time chronic Lyme's disease. And so he then thought, okay, the immune system is weak and can't reset itself. So then he suggested to do vaccinations, which was every 3 weeks. I got a vaccination for several months. And every time it was like clockwork. 1 week after the vaccination, I crashed even more. And then even more and even more. And then I said to him, well, I think this is not working. And the infection is just getting stronger, which at first he didn't believe. He said, no, you just have to continue a bit longer, which I trusted him, so I did. And then at some point, he also started to doubt. I said, okay, let's do another test. And then it turned out the infection was even stronger than before. So then he thought, okay, we need stronger antibiotics, which also penetrates into the brain, crosses the blood-brain barrier. And then that was like the final drop. So then in the same time, that was then I started to take the move to live together with my wife, who was already in Switzerland, because I lived in and worked in Hamburg at the time. So we were commuting, which was also not helping the health, actually.
Does that cause a lot of stress? Yeah, I mean, long-term, long distance relationship.
Yeah, exactly. And we did like the night train, which was like dramatic on the back as well, with the sleeping. It's not nice. And so yeah. And then I had to start the recovery journey, which was then 5 years ago. And so I learned a lot. I have tried out many different things. I started with a natural protocol from a doctor called Dr. Cowden.
Mm-hmm.
But even there, I didn't realize that my liver and my detoxification system was basically too weak. So I started too quickly with his protocol. And then, yeah, over time, I've done a lot of different things that worked, things that don't work.
Yeah.
And then my wife started, or people around me started telling me, oh, you learn so much. This is valuable for other people. Start sharing this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So,
and that now has become my mission, basically, to help people, because this is a nice analogy I got from Dean Graziosi. It's like we're climbing, or we want to climb, right? And then we crash. So we go into a deep valley. At some point, we're climbing back up, and then we can continue. So I'm not yet at the peak health and peak performance, but I'm on my way back up, and I know how to get there. And now I also can help. I would like to help people to build a bridge so they can go faster and prevent, actually, to go through what I had to go through, because it takes much longer to recover from something than to take small measures in advance to boost your performance and health.
So I know that what you went through is a lot more serious than a burnout. But am I right to say that when we have many or a series of burnouts, it can lead to something more serious?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, the Lyme disease that you I think what I would like you to address first is that how can we prevent, in your point of view, because you just said that it started from the beginning, right on the earlier onset, and then it becomes a build up, and then because you did not take the necessary measures to track back, right, you didn't stop yourself, and you went on and on and on, and then leading you to these complications. So what would be some of the signs that we should already start paying attention to? Because what I'm gathering is that it's a build up. What struck me was when you said about the memory, because there is this thing about, for us, we say, I'm getting old, I'm forgetting. Oh, I'm getting old, but I've also heard another coach who says that if you keep telling yourself that you're getting old, and you're giving yourself a permission. Think about teenagers. Teenagers are also forgetful, right? How many times do we have to remind teenagers? So are we trying to say, oh, it's their age? We don't, right? So it may or may not be to do with the age. So you mentioned memory, but I'm just very interested to know from you, like, what are the signs actually that we should already start paying attention to?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. I think the thing is to focus on is also not about labels of disease and how to manage disease or prevent disease.
Yeah.
It's about how do you get in optimal health, right? And then how do you define optimal health and what is not optimal health? So the first thing is that in our society, like being tired, stressed all the time, like busy all the time, overworked, and then tired. When you wake up in the morning, if you do not feel refreshed but you feel tired, that's already a sign. I mean, if it's one time, okay, right? If you go, but if it's all the time, then that's already a sign your body is not in optimal health. And the thing is that in our society, it has become like normal. So people think, oh, it's normal to have pains. It's normal to be tired. It's normal to have some memory forgetfulness. The thing is, it may be normal, but it's not natural, right? It's the body
It may
is
seem normal, but not natural.
yeah. So it's the body, especially as young age, it's designed in principle to be in optimal performance. And what we're doing to ourselves as a society is kind of breaking down the foundations. So I sometimes use the analogy of like our life is like a tower.
Yeah.
And we're trying to build on top a new layer, a new floor, right? You just in the career or in whatever you want. But we forget about the foundation that needs maintenance as well. And so it starts to break down. And at some point, when it's totally worn down, the tower collapses. And that's basically what happened with me, that I did not pay attention to all these signs, that with the small sign. Well, actually, I did pay to some extent attention because I went to the doctors, right? But the doctors had no clue either. And that's what I learned later on also, that every chronic disease is a combination of multiple factors.
Yeah.
Well, doctors and a lot of scientists still, there's this reductionistic approach. There has to be one cause, one disease. Unfortunately, that's not true. And there's a lot of other science in that direction. So it's more the holistic approach. And I would say like the high performers under the medical doctors, these are like functional medicine, they are taking a different approach. They're conventionally trained doctors, but often they went through the same problems that they are also high performers, so pushing themselves, right? A lot of doctors, they work overnight and their bodies are crashing as well as the mental function, which is danger because you start to make more mistakes. And then, so a lot of these doctors, functional medicine doctors, they crashed, then they couldn't help themselves. Their friends, doctors, couldn't help themselves. So they started to dig deeper and also into combining them with science discoveries, because often science is like 15, 20 years ahead on society. There is this gap and they try to close the gap. And so they started to understand, okay, there's much more multiple factors. So what are the root causes? And instead of treating symptoms, start to treat the root causes.
Yes.
And the root causes have so many different factors that one cause can cause like 10 different diseases, and the same disease can be caused by 10 different factors.
I just want to just little interject a little bit, because you said a very important point there, that chronic diseases is actually due to a series, or it could be an accumulation of various different symptoms. Unfortunately, when we go to the doctor tend to just attend to one symptom, and which is why sometimes when you go to the doctor and then you go to one and they fix one thing and then the other thing is not fixed. So I have this well, I speak about my mother-in-law a lot. So my mother-in-law, she will have back pains and high blood pressure, and she also has water retention. But when the main thing that the doctor will give her for certain things, but then on the overall, she's still not well. So she has the medication for high blood and thinning of the blood, so for the heart. But as overall, she still feels like crap. So that's when she's like, that's her way of alerting us that I'm eating all this medicine, it's not making me well. So so I like what you said. I think there's it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So how is this related to so for high performance? Because you've already mentioned a few things, right? One is being too tired all the time in a long period of time. Okay. And like what you say, it becomes like the new normal, that it's normal for us to feel very tired all the time, and we accept it. Yeah. And especially now during COVID, we are very much sedentary, a lot more sedentary than before. And that's when people are having a lot of Zooms, and people have a lot more pains, a lot of back pains, a lot of knee pains, headaches, because we are very much confined. So you said a few things. One is being tired for a long period of time, and very often in the morning you don't feel fresh. So that should be a sign, people. It's not like it's not normal for you to be snoozing like maybe 5 times and wake up and still tired. It's not normal. Number two, you talk about the memory, right? That it's you are actually affected. And I think there was a third one, Rolf.
Yeah, well, feeling stressed all the time, so overwhelmed.
Yes, overwhelmed.
Yeah, and then it's like you then also feel you don't have enough time and energy, so you're pushing yourself either more to catch up, right? So you're only going further down the hill.
How many of us who's watching, who's raising hands here? Can I? I will not be able to see you, but how many of you is like tired all the time for a long period of time, do not feel refreshed early in the morning, feeling stressed and overwhelmed a lot, and then memory loss? Yeah. So I think some of us are already. Any other symptoms that we should like be alert about?
Well, you could actually like even problems with digestion, because once you're stressed, so the body has kind of two main modes, basic modes. There is what is called the fight or flight response, which in technical terms is more related to the so-called sympathetic nervous system. And then there is the rest and digest, or also the relax and recover response, which is in the biological term parasympathetic nervous system. And so our digestive system works optimally when we're in a state of calm and relaxed state. And when we're stressed, so it's a protective mechanism that is meant for short term. So they often use this analogy with like the saber-toothed tiger, right? So this sudden danger, then you need to either run away or fight, and then it doesn't make sense for your body to spend energy on digestion or on the immune system, because if you're not ready to fight or flight, you're gonna be dead, right? But this then it's meant to afterwards that you then come back to your rest state, and your body can recover and heal and digest and take all the nutrition. But if we're in nowadays in basically a 24-hour state of stress, which means we're always in this mode, and then this starts to wear down the body much faster, and it doesn't have the capability to heal and nor absorb properly. So you can start to have digestive issues like cramps, or in my case, it was with Lyme's disease, is often like alternating constipation and then more diuretic-like behavior, a lot of gassing and cramps. In fact, as my wife called me at some point Sir Fart a lot, because
So fart a lot. Oh my God. So fart a lot. SFAL. Schval. Okay.
and also, like, I'm very musical. Like
In your fart?
so I can play guitar, I can play ukulele, I can play keyboards, and I all learned that myself. Like
Yeah.
and then, but I can play in whole orchestra
With your fart.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's,
I would love to talk to your wife.
side effect. There's a positive side effect of having such a problem, physical
So
problem.
it's like this the indigestion is intertwining with your talents. Yeah. I have got to speak to your wife one day. I want to know exactly how does it sound, this harmonic farting. This is so sorry.
Yeah, I'm still surprised that after all this time she still actually has to laugh. I would think like, well, she must be fed up right now. But it's way better. So now it's so then it starts also, you have to take care of your nutrition, right? Because then figured out I have a lot of allergies and food intolerances. And so starting then with changing your diet or eating habits, that has a massive improvement, because also in your gut, they say it's like 70% of your immune system is in your gut, and it's this you have all these microbes that you need to take care of. And if these are not...
Oh dear. Okay, you just went off just now, just like a short second. Okay, no problem. Yes, no problem. You're talking about the microbes. But I want to just go in a little bit more about this indigestion. So you talked about the immune system, right? And then does blood circulation has anything to do with this?
Yeah, for sure. So that's one of another problems I had, very poor blood circulation, and then that's also where then the blood is meant to bring the oxygen and the nutrition to all your cell tissues and cells, right? And
it also removes toxins, right? That's the whole purpose of blood circulation, also to remove.
Well, actually, so the blood goes from the gut to the liver. The liver does a lot of detoxification, and then it goes to the lungs to get some more oxygen, and then it goes with the nutrition to the blood. And then on the way back, you have the blood which has less oxygen, so it has go back to the lungs. And the toxins are also taken away via the lymph system.
Yes.
And the thing is that what most people don't realize is that you can have digestive problems and not feel it.
But what do you mean? How can you not feel it? I mean, if people who go to do the number 2 every day, then you don't have a digestion problem, right? Okay, what do you mean by that? That you don't feel it?
Ideally, they say you would even number 2 like 2 or 3 times a day, but definitely 1 time. Otherwise, already a bit more constipation. But like if you don't necessarily feel the bloating or in pains or cramps, and the other thing is this thing called leaky gut, or in more technical term is permeability of the gut lining. So it's like a mesh of cells, and then the common thing in every disease is like chronic low-grade inflammation. What happens is kind of this mesh is a bit transparent and stuff leaking through. Stuff that did not meant to leak through gets into the blood and then spread through the body. And that is then partly like undigested food, but also toxins like pesticides and metals, which don't belong in your body. So it takes a lot of extra energy to get this stuff out again.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's a bit of connection to the blood also. And a
Yeah.
lot of this food that we eat is then not optimal for this either.
So we've spoken a number of issues here. I mean, that's preventing us from performing or living our best lives, living our best days. So just to recap a little bit, so you talked about the early signs, right? So memory loss, feeling stressed for a long period of time, not feeling refreshed when you get up in the morning, feeling very, very overwhelmed. And the other one that we just talked about is indigestion. So these are some of the signs that we should look into and not just, put a blind eye to it. I
Perhaps
think
another important one to add
Yeah.
is actually our behavior. So we
Behavior.
become more reactive, easier frustrated and annoyed.
You snap by people a lot.
Yeah, exactly. We have less self-control, less self-discipline. It also, even if you want to change habits, it becomes more difficult when you're under stress.
More irritable, huh?
Yeah.
And difficult to change your habits. Yes. I think
and it's like we have all like two states, right? When we're in our best version and we're all happy and friendly and doing well.
Relaxed.
Relaxed. And then we have our worst behavior and everything in between. And what I remember, this comes up now, is like there was one of those doctors who asked the question, so when was the last time when you really felt like totally relaxed and at ease and like, when you go on a really long holiday and in the middle of the holiday you finally wind it down from all the stress, you don't think about work or any other problems, you have no anxiety anymore.
Yeah.
When was the last time? And then I don't know if you want to answer that one also, but
you're asking me.
Yeah.
When was the last time I truly feel like relaxed? You remember you were coaching me for the event that I had, like after she reveals, that's when like so, then I was like totally like switched off and just relax and basically do nothing. So that's when
and perhaps some of the listeners will answer like, well, that has been like many years ago. And the point that he was making was that is actually the basic state that we need to be in, because also from a physiological point of the composition of the neurons, I won't go into detail because it might become too boring. I like the science, but I know not everybody.
You love the science. You love the science a lot. I want to move on and talk about the challenge that you have for us. Because I think you have put out some of these very interesting symptoms here. And for those of us who have these symptoms, this is your chance to do something about it. I think based on Rolf's story, that if you consciously put a blind eye to all these symptoms, it accumulates, right? It's like a snowball, and then building up to become an avalanche, and you don't want that to happen. I have personally had several burnouts. And I know now I'm a bit better in the sense that I can sense when a burnout is coming. And when I know it's there, I know, okay, I'm sorry. This is where I put my foot down a little bit, because not proud of it, but I've had a number of burnouts. And I know that if I crash hard, it's tough for me to come back. I will have to do a number of things, and take a longer time, and I do not want that. So, I become a bit smarter at reading my own body. So for those of us who do have some of the symptoms that you mentioned, okay? Prolonged tiredness, not feeling fresh in the morning, memory loss, overwhelm and stress over a long period of time. And then you say indigestion, and then irritable, very irritable.
Any pains?
Sorry?
And any pains?
Pains, yeah. Also, chronic pains in the body. Let's do something about it. So Rolf has a challenge. It's a free challenge for us. It's also to coincide with his 40th birthday.
Yeah.
Tell us about the challenge, Rolf.
So yeah, so at the 8th of July, I turned 40. So I thought it would be a great start. Thank you. For a 40-day challenge. Yeah. So right now the idea is, the title is 3H challenge: happy, healthy, high performance. To learn about to get this happier, healthier, high performer out of you.
Yes.
It's going to be with different. It's going to be more for variety, because like I said, I like science, but also arts. So there's going to be some. And also some habits and mindsets hacking, and some exercises, and I throw in some of my photography or poems, and
the thing about Rolf, I have actually told him there's way too many talents in one person. This is not fair. Because when he, Rolf has attended my book writing, and it's like he's very good at writing, and very, very in-depth scientific clarification. He is a scientist, by the way, like the Big Bang Theory kind of scientist. This is the real, he is a scientist, that kind of scientist, so there's genius scientists. On the other side, he also plays music. He plays the guitar. You paint. He writes poems. Oh my God, you have got to read his poems. And so there's like both sides. Some of us are a little stronger. It seems for me like Rolf is, like he's both left and right brain. So what he's going to bring into this challenge is to bring out the artistic side of people. So I don't have an artist. I'm not artistic. I'm not at all. But the thing is, all of us are creative. We are all creative in some way. It may not be music. It may not be art. Something. But you never know. So what I want to encourage everyone is to come and join Rolf on this challenge. Who knows? You might discover another side of you that you never know. Yeah. So I have had to learn this also the hard way, that I need to have hobbies. So, and I'm thinking, like, what are my hobbies? I'm only working all the time. But what are my hobbies? So I've had to also, I think talking to Rolf quite a bit has also like jolted me a little bit. You gotta do something that is just for you, like not just to serve others all the time. So I want to encourage everybody to join Rolf's challenge, which is called Happy, Healthy, High Performer. Okay, if you're not performing well and you want to be a high performer, this is for you. Okay, and if you feel like you are a high performer but you're not that happy, this is for you. Okay, and if you think that it's high time, you are putting a check on all those items that we mentioned about, you need to get a hold of your health, this is also for you. Rolf, so how can they get in touch with you to take part in this challenge?
Either by email.
Okay.
So it's rolf.bybcoaching.com at gmail.com. Repeat it again, or we can put it underneath.
We're going to put it in the comment. Okay. So for those who are interested, just email Rolf. I'll put his email in the comments, and then we'll talk again. So I don't think this is like your debut for this live, but we're gonna talk a little bit more, right, Rolf? Yeah. This is not the first and the last one for you.
No, for sure not. It's the beginning.
It's a beginning. It's a new beginning. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and thank you so much for all this very juicy and very informative. Definitely, even for me, even though I've been talking to you quite a bit, there are a number of stuff that you are sharing today which you have not told me. So thank you so much, Rolf.
Yeah, thank you very much. And it's a pleasure always talking to you. And we go in different directions. And I'll be prepared a bit. So we had even more topics to talk about.
Yes.
We didn't cover yet. So
all right. We talk again, everybody. Happy weekend, everyone.
Yeah, happy weekends. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Rolf. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Suryati.